Hi everybody. Today's What Sold video is going to be the items that sold between the 8th and the 14th of January. So the second week, and we're of course in 2026. And we're going to start out with Poshmark. We only made two sales on Poshmark in this second week of January, and that was two Talbots items, surprisingly. One was this kind of basic short sleeve t-shirt, and the next was this new with tags scalloped cardigan. These are definitely more spring items, I would say. So it seems like some of our customers are starting to shop for the warmer weather. This top sold for 15 and the scallop sweater sold for 35. Strangely enough, this sold on Poshmark, and then within, I don't know, I feel like an hour or two, it ended up selling on eBay. And I was like, this has been listed for so long. Why is it just now selling? It was really weird. Why did it sell on two platforms? I even went and made sure that it wasn't the same buyer, and it wasn't. Sometimes that happens. Like if someone was watching the item on, let's say two people were watching it on Poshmark, and then someone gets the alert that it's sold, they'll go and see if they can find it somewhere else. And maybe she didn't know that it was me cross posting the item or whatever. Um, and she just happened to think someone else had that same item on eBay and bought it there, whether it's trying their luck. It could be anything, it could have just been a complete coincidence. So our total profit on Poshmark for that week was $36. Then we'll go over to eBay where we had five sales. We sold this Vermont Country Store house coat for $36. I just happened to see another a reseller that I follow on Facebook, and she was mentioning picking up it was like a denim house coat, and one of the top comments was, "I love picking up house coats." And I've this is like the only style I feel like that I've gotten so far is this Vermont Country Store particular one, but it does pretty well. I was just curious. That's kind of cool whenever you pull up your items. Sometimes it'll show you similar items. These have nothing to do with what I sold, but that's pretty similar. And I just like seeing what some other people are trying to price theirs at. Okay, next was that was the sweater that sold. And so I did have to cancel that. I offered her, like I always do, I apologized and explained the situation that it had sold on CrossPost and had not gotten delisted yet. I don't understand why Flip has been delisting some solds, and some of them they'll not do anything, and some of them they will mark them as sold but not delist them from the other platforms. I don't know what's going on with that. To be honest, I would rather them just like not do anything at all, because sometimes it like messes things up and it's just sloppy. It's not streamlined yet. I feel like it's a feature they've been trying, but they haven't gotten good at like nailing just yet, in my honest opinion. But that did sell on 35 or here. And like I said, I canceled it after giving her the option of either canceling or finding something. I think I told her it could be up to like 40 or $45 to sub it with, but she just chose to cancel. Next was this Chaps peasant blouse, sold for 15. A pair of J brand skinny jeans that had been up there for 2 years, and they only sold for $18. So the story behind these was it was Halloween like 2 or 3 years ago, and I had a thread up coupon for some percentage. It was pretty decent, like maybe 20% or something off of your total order. And then I also had a deal with my banking app that like my banking app will tell me some deals throughout the month. Like if you spend money at McDonald's, you might get 5% cash back or whatever. And it'll be for certain brands. Sometimes it's like Little Caesars or Domino's or certain stores. And so one time they had a thread up offer, and it happened to be the same time I had the coupon with ThreadUp. So I was able to kind of combine that and get cash back and use the coupon. And so I remember sitting out there for Halloween during we were passing out candy for trick-or-treaters. And while we were waiting on little kids to show up, I was sitting there on the ThreadUp app and I was trying to find some stuff I could resell. And so at the time, this was when we had just started going like more full time. Maybe it was like 2021 or something, 2022. And I looked up J brand and what were some of the other brands? Adriana Goldschmied. We were following like the Thrifty Flamingo or something Flamingo was this YouTuber we had started watching, and she was like she called herself the Jean Queen, and she was getting all the J brand, all the Adriana Goldschmied, um, a couple of brands like that. And so we were religiously trying to pick those up, and I made the mistake of getting a lot of these smaller sizes, and I only ended up paying like maybe $4 each for them. So it wasn't a bad price, but they sat and they sat and they sat because they are so small and because they are skinny style. You guys know that's not really in style anymore. So, and then really honestly, J brand seems to kind of have fallen off, like to be small and skinny and whatever. It's just not that great. So I was glad they sold, but to have sat for 2 years was so not worth it taking up the space. And lastly was this tour dress. I picked this up at a yard sale um, over the summer and I paid $5 for it. I had gone up to this lady's sale. She had like a little clothing rack with some really cute items, and most of them were Torrid or some decent brands in good condition and plus size. And I was like, "Oh, how much are your items?" And she goes, "Oh, they're individually priced, or they're like individually priced, but they're not priced." Or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, so they're not labeled. So I just need to ask you. And she's like, yeah, so like they're just different. So like that dress is 5, that dress is 10, those pants are 15. And I was like, oh my gosh, yard sales are so much different than when I used to have yard sales. When I used to have yard sales, things would be like $1 or $2 for clothing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then also I don't understand the point of having items out and not putting prices on them, right? Like, could you imagine going on a Poshmark or eBay or Mercari or anything like that, or even into like a Walmart and seeing something you're interested in, but it not having a price? So you have to like decide, is it worth me going and asking how much it is? And then what if it's too expensive and I'm embarrassed to put it back because I don't want it? Or like, you know what I mean? Are the prices negotiable? Like it's just awkward. So don't at all recommend that. But yeah, her prices were a bit much. So I did get this for $5 and it sold for 20. So my total profit for eBay was $54.97. We had no Mercari sales in the second week of January, so our total profit was $90.97. Oh, um, better than the better for 91 than the 81 from the week before. Sales are still just insanely low. I don't think it's the listing. I did notice when I was looking at so this, yeah, because this I have two flip tabs open. This one is from oldest to newest items. This is from newest to oldest. And so I did see that we only listed a few things in December, a few in November, and then it's been since October 9th, which was like before, I think like right as I started my new job. Let's see what it was before that. Sorry, I hope this isn't boring. Yeah, and see, then I was like posting pretty regularly. All throughout the September. I posted really regularly. Um, and all the way up until I had my son was September 6th. And I came home like September 9th from the hospital. And I remember I had on my calendar, I live by my calendar on my phone, and I had on my calendar like how I was gonna have my husband pick solds and do them and how I was going to have him like prep items that I could photograph, and maybe if I had healed enough from having the baby I could photograph the items and list them while I was like resting on the couch. And it's funny because as soon as I came home from the hospital I was just doing all of it. So I was really able to get back into the routine of listing as soon as I got back home. But then when I started this new job the very beginning of October, it like completely fell off. However, what I'm still kind of confused about is because I've been delisting and relisting very regularly. Like I would say, if not every day, maybe like every 2 to 3 days, I've been delisting and relisting new items. It still seems like that should be enough activity in my closets and in our online shops to register that we're active and that we're listing like new, fresh things. So I'm still just kind of confused. Plus, I am listing some actual new things like these items. So I don't really understand why sales are so slow. Um, how is it for you guys? I've seen some of you say that this is like the slowest January that you've had. I'm getting kind of worried because I don't know. I'm just getting a little worried. I know that taxes will be people will be getting their tax money back soon, and that's always something to look forward to with sales. So we'll see. We'll see. And work is going to start picking up over the next couple weeks, and I just don't know how that's going to affect with the resale. I was really kind of hoping that I'd be able to start listing some more stuff. I don't know. I did also get news that the children's sale that we sell at every year, that does it twice a year, they are doing their sale in May now. So their spring sale will be in May. And you see here we have 409 items currently like in their inventory system. So this is something they just opened up tagging yesterday. And so I have already started tagging. Like I had yesterday off. So I was just, well, some of it, my daytime I had off. Nighttime I still went into work, but I tagged all day yesterday. I tagged some today, and I'm planning to tag just as much as I can throughout the next few weeks because last fall when there was the sale in November, I kind of slacked because I had just started this job and um things were getting on top of me and I had the new baby at home. So I didn't get as much inventory into the last sales I would like to. So I definitely didn't make as much as I had in the springtime. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I can really buckle down and get a lot of things in this sale because kids things don't sell for me like at all, hardly. Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, and or in the consignment sale, the consignment store that we sell at. So I'm really hoping to just make these twice a year sales really work for us. Uh, Besides your Poshmark, eBay, or Mercari accounts, do you guys happen to sell at like consignment stores or kids consignment sales or anything like that? Or do you have something similar in your areas? Let me know because I'm always interested in hearing the streams of income and other ways that you guys make money. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.